and Gio.
BT and Sal.
Kevin and Tiki.
Keith McPherson, your nighttime host on The Fan.
On The Fan. On The Fan.
On The Fan.
It's WFAN Daily, hosted by Pete Hoffman.
That's right, I'm back. Pete Hoffman on this newest episode of WFAN Daily as we take a deeper dive into a lot of criticism going towards Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. And why not? Because they've lost now, They've won 7 of their last 22 games. They're 7-15. The record's not good. The team's not very good. They got 6 games against 2 juggernaut teams. And I don't want to say juggernaut. Seattle Mariners maybe aren't juggernaut, but they certainly are a very difficult team to hit against, as they just showed. They just shut out these Pittsburgh Pirates 3 straight games. And then they go up against the Cubs, who they're closer to a juggernaut. Their offense is good. Their pitching is good. They're a very well-rounded team. So right now, this stretch that the Yankees are not out of, yes, they stopped the bleeding. They stopped the 6-game losing streak that they had. It's not over yet. They could go on a different spiral. They can go. That's their second 6+ losing streak of the season. The only other teams that have done that this year are the White Sox, the Braves, the Royals, the Rockies. I mean, if you know about the teams I'm talking about, they're terrible. They're sucky. They're in like last place. So the Yankees are doing something that only, other really bad teams are doing. And there's a possibility of you never know. You never know these next 6 games. But I should have taken the drink before I did the podcast. I didn't do that. So now I got dry mouth and now I have to drink. But there we go. All right, we're good. Here's why I would not let go of Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. You have yourselves a franchise which is so spoiled, which doesn't understand how lucky they are that they're constantly in the playoffs. They were just in the World Series. The New York Yankees were just in the World Series. And they're talking about firing their GM and their head coach, their manager, Aaron Boone. That is the most asinine thing you could talk about, because it's everybody. It's the fans. It's everybody. It's not just one person. It is a lot of people who are bringing that up, that Aaron Boone's got to go. What has Aaron Boone done to make you think that Yankees as a whole don't like what he's doing? What has he done? It may not sound good to you. This may not be a good reason for you, but tell me what Aaron Boone has done that you're unhappy with. Are you unhappy with the fact that Jason Dominguez is playing left field and not center field? Are you unhappy with the fact that Jazz Chisholm is playing third base and not second base? I'm going to tell you this, and I hate to ruin it for you. That's not all Aaron Boone's decision. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a say in it, but what I'm telling you is this is not Aaron Boone seeing his lineup and penciling it out and just handing it in and saying, this is what we're going to do to get today. And everybody on the entire Yankee upper management is saying, great job, Aaron. Thanks for filling out this lineup. I appreciate it. We trust you. No, they are doing a deep dive on so many levels. I don't even know if Aaron Boone's the be-all, end-all to it. He might put it down on a piece of paper and have to hand it to somebody else to get it approved before they can hand it to the umpire. You just don't know anymore. But to sit there and say that Aaron Boone is the reason why the Yankees have lost so many games in a row, you're wrong. The fact is that you have 1, 2 stars. It's not even about star power. It's just about how good they really are. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. So you have that down. Like Aaron Judge is going to win you games. You're gonna ride his coattails here and there. And then you got Max Fried. And Max Fried, for the most part, is going to, at the very least, keep you in a very low-scoring game, if not win you games, because he's going to make sure that the other opposition is not hitting the ball. So between those two players, you have a really good base to win a bunch of games, whether it's Aaron Judge's offense or whether it's Max Fried's pitching. I know, Fried's only pitching once every fifth day or sixth day or whatever it is, so it's not like he's sitting there and pitching every day or every other day, because then that'd be a whole different story. Carlos Rodon has been very hit or miss. He's had some really good games, and then he has the games like he had on Saturday versus the Mets, where he gives up a grand slam in the first inning, and that's basically it. You're done after that. The bullpen has been worn down because of everything else that's going in baseball. This is just not a Yankee thing, okay? This is not the depletion of the bullpen is not a solely Yankee issue. This is a baseball thing that's going on throughout the entire league. So don't just isolate it and think that the Yankees have that problem, because the Mets have the same problem. The Mets are actually in worse shape because they've been using the bullpen a ton more. They don't have guys that can go 6 or 7 deep on a normal basis. They have guys that can lucky to go 5 innings. Okay. But the Yankees have their issues in the bullpen because Devin Williams, first of all, was not the guy that they wanted to be when they brought him in here. He was underwhelming. No one's going to deny that. I can admit that too. I still think he's going to be turned into one of the best bullpen arms, and I keep on saying that every day. Eventually, it's going to happen, but he is going to be one of the best bullpen arms at the end of the year. There's no doubt in my mind. And June was fantastic. Started off July a little rough, but I'll give it. Got to give somebody a game here or there to have a little, mishap. It happens. His June was basically perfect. That being said, Luke Weaver coming back from injury, he's been down pretty bad. Then you have Cruz getting hurt. Loizica hasn't been so healthy. Tim Hill does okay here and there. Mark Leiter Jr., lights fuel to the fire. Pours fuel to the fire when he goes out there sometimes and just throws the game away. There's too many guys that are getting burnt out or can't do enough damage. That is the first key for the Yankees, is to get a high-level reliever. Okay? That is the first thing they need to do. It's a high-level reliever. Because like any other team that's going to be in the playoffs, you're using your bullpen too much. And in order to stay, level or above average, you need fresh arms. You can't keep on burning out these guys. And again, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be issues. So that's the first thing. On top of that, the bat. There's got to be another addition. And again, this is a deflection of saying that this is not Aaron Boone's fault. I'm just telling you who's on the team and what's going on here. So I still don't see how this is Boone's fault that he's going to a bullpen that's depleted. He's going to offense that, by the way, Paul Goldschmidt is officially done. All right. It was a good first couple of months. He had a nice run. Paul Goldschmidt is done. Maybe he finds it in September towards the end of the season. But right now, he is flat. He is spent. Maybe he still has some defense to him, but he's not hitting the ball. Going into Sunday's game, he was 15 to 85 or something like that. It's not a good total. I don't know the last time he's hit a home run. I know he had a double the other day, which was good, but he has been falling flat. And then a lot of other guys are lackluster. I know Jazz has had his moments, but you go through the kitchen situation, Austin Wells, yeah, he hits a home run here or there. But again, there's a lot in between there that nothing happens. And that's what you got to look for. It's not the occasional home run or the occasional, this guy went, he went 2 for 4 today. And then he went 3 for 5 the day after that. And then he went 1 for 4. He's on a 3-game hitting streak. He's got 6 hits. He's got 8 hits or whatever it is. But then if he goes 7 days in a row without a hit, that is a bad thing. That is the norm. The outlier is the 3 games in a row that they get hits. It happens far too often with a lot of these guys. Dominguez didn't, I don't think he hit a home run for a whole month. I know he hit 2 on Friday, but Jason Dominguez has been lackluster. I understand that the last 7 to 9 games, I can't remember the exact total number, he's batted 400. He's looked better. Again, hit those 2 home runs, like I said. He's looked better in the last 7 to 9 games. But if you go to the last 13 before that, he's batting 194, if that. So everyone's saying, oh, he's got to be in the lineup. He's got to play every day. Well, does he? Yeah, when he's hot, he needs to be in. But when he's colder than a freaking freezer. So just you have to remove yourself from this day-by-day grind of, ooh, I'm riding a hot streak. They're amazing. But you're closing your eyes to the downsides of Jason Dominguez. And I understand people saying, oh, we'll just make him bat from the left-hand side. That's where he bats better that way anyway. Yeah, well, he's only grown up to be a switch hitter his whole career so far. I mean, so why don't we just change it now? They said that about Francisco Lindor last year. And guy freaking turned it around. How many switch hitters do you see just turn it around at the beginning of their career because we don't think they're going to be able to make it? Well, if that's the case, then, maybe Anthony Volpe shouldn't be playing shortstop ever again because he doesn't seem like he's all that good. So clearly he can't play shortstop in the majors. The kid is 24 years old, okay? And this is another level of there's been no really set plan to develop players or to give them competition. It's almost like the Mark Sanchez approach with the Jets. Mark Sanchez was a quarterback for the Jets who no one really thought was that great. But there was no competition for him either. So you're stuck with him. You got, Mark Brunell to come in and kind of talk about how he should play the game and teach him a couple things. But there was no competition there, like saying, hey, I'm going to steal your job. And that was the downfall of Mark Sanchez and the Jets. There was no competition. It's like that with the shortstop position for the Yankees. Anthony Volpe's sitting there. And he hasn't been very good. But yet, he's 24 years old. He got called up at 22 years old. He clearly is not a Bobby Wood Jr. He clearly is not a Mike Trout. He clearly is not a Juan Soto. He is not a generational talent. Does that mean that Anthony Volpe is bad? No. It just means that he may develop later on. And you have to be able to see that. That is the biggest criticism that I will give the New York Yankees is they either can't figure out how to, or they can't tell when they need to develop players more. There is a lot of talk and hype about all their prospects. There always has been hype about all their prospects. But the best time that they use their prospects is in trade situations when they're going out and trading for high-level players and they give up their high-level prospects. That is when they're being used the best. Okay? That seems like that's the only time it works for the Yankees because we've seen it through the years that they just don't get it right with these prospects. Now, back to the main point. Why would you get rid of Aaron Boone? Why would you say that Aaron Boone's message has to change when all these things around him are not his fault? And everything he does is be the face of the team, take every punch possible. You say he doesn't hold his players accountable. I say he doesn't put his team on blast in front of the media. I say that he may do things behind the scenes that we don't see. Why is it? Because they get enough crap. We just saw, Anthony Volpe's dad get into it with a player, not a player, a fan, because of what he was saying about his son. Well, what do you think is going to happen if Aaron Boone gets on the mic and starts killing his team in front of everybody or to the media? It's going to get back to him, and you think that's going to make it a better locker room? No chance. So Aaron Boone may have a certain way about him that you don't like, but he's not going to call out his players in front of everybody. He's just not going to do that. And that's okay. You don't have to do that. And that's not a bad thing. And that still doesn't mean that they're not being held accountable. Now, the other level of this is Brian Cashman, which everyone's now saying, oh, I'm done with Brian Cashman. The guy's only gotten you to the playoffs almost every year since he's taken over. You were in the World Series, like I said last year. You were in the freaking World Series. The biggest issue that you have is that you did not replace Juan Soto. End of story. You could sit there and say, oh, but look at all the other moves that they did. The plan B, look at all these moves that they made for plan B. Didn't work. It didn't work. It wasn't good enough. Okay, like I said, Goldschmidt's washed. Cody Bellinger's been a disappointment. I don't care what his numbers say. I don't care how good the defense he plays. He is not as good as what you thought he should be. Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger do not equal Juan Soto. Just doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. And to be fair, you probably need another bat on top of Soto anyway. So the fact that you can't replace Soto, that's it. It's not a big deal. It's not. You did your best. The Yankees did their best to be competitive and bring in Juan Soto. You can't knock them for trying. You can't knock the plan B that they put in place. That wasn't a bad thing either. But on the other hand, it's just not enough. So now you have to reevaluate and say, we need more. Third base is an issue. Third base is an issue because Chisholm needs to be playing second base, which then puts the hole at third base rather than second base. Wherever DJ LeMahieu is an issue. Okay, let's be serious here. DJ LeMahieu is the issue. Jazz can go to second base, but then you got a hole at third base. If Jazz is at third base, then you got a hole at second base. And I know that Jazz defense isn't all that fantastic at third base, but he's still good enough that he can still make most plays. He's agile enough. He's got a great skill set. I mean, he really is talented. The problem is he's not perfect at third base. And that's a problem. Hot corner, you need to be a Gold Glove-esque type of player to really fill that position. And Jazz is just not it at third base. And left field is a problem too, and that's partly Jason Dominguez. And I understand that everyone's like, oh, make him a center fielder, make him a center fielder. That's where his natural position is. I'm sorry, but the guy's not reading balls that are coming at him, and I don't care what angle it is. If you're an outfielder and you can't figure out how to read baseballs, I don't care if you're playing left field, right field, center field, left out. It doesn't make a difference. There's a problem. You're having a fundamental flaw. I understand maybe it's easier for you to play center field, but you should be able to track down those baseballs in left field too. And if you can't do it, I don't care the angle. You should be able to learn it. And if you can't do it, then your ass is on the bench and you're DH. And for anybody that says, well, why don't you just have Cody Bellinger do it? So you finally have a great center fielder in Cody Bellinger. He is the best center fielder on the team. So let's move him to left field where maybe he's not as good, right? I'm just saying, maybe he's not as good for a center fielder in Jason Dominguez, who we see sucks in the outfield, cannot read simple plays. He's having major issues catching fly balls in the outfield. So let's make him the center fielder because that's going to go over smoothly. Let's see him not read a couple plays, perfectly. Let's see a couple balls go over his head in the center field. Let's see how that goes. Then you're really going to run him out of town. Let him suffer in left field a little bit. Let him figure it out before he has to go play a huge center field because that's what he's going to have to do. And then on top of that, you're making Cody Bellinger go into a position maybe that he's not comfortable with. Maybe both of them together are uncomfortable, but hey, Cody Bellinger is amazing at center field, so why change him? Make Dominguez figure it out. I'm sorry. There's no reason to impact the entire outfield. And by the way, and I said this before the season started, and I truly mean this, Jason Dominguez playing center field and not being able to field properly now puts more pressure on Aaron Judge. Think about this. You have 3 outfield spots. You have Aaron Judge, your star right fielder, who the reason why he's not center field is because you're trying to limit the damage of how much he needs to cover, right? Center field's going to see more action. You're going to be in on every play. You're going left to right, depending on where the ball is. You're seeing a lot more. Why are you going to have a young kid who's struggling in the left field, who can't figure out a smaller portion of the field, who now has to take up more space. Now you're going to make Judge work his ass off more too. That's going to be a problem. And there's going to be, and if Judge gets hurt, then this whole team is flatlining. So Jason Dominguez has two choices. Either suck it up and play left field and figure it out, or go down to the minors. Because I got to be honest with you, I know it's nice to see him on this 9-game hitting streak and he's looking good. But before that, the 13 games where he's batting about 194, yeah, that just happened too. And that could get your ass sent down to the minors. So he's got to figure it out, deal with it. But that being said, Yankees need another bat. So bullpen and a bat. Those are the two major things the Yankees need to do come this offseason. Not this offseason, this trade deadline. And I think at the end of the day, no matter how much you hate the guy, Brian Cashman is going to do exactly what we're saying. And he's going to get you and find you those pieces. And you may not be ecstatic at first. You may not be happy, but he's going to get you exactly what you want and more and get you back into the playoffs. And he's going to get you back into the World Series. I mean, I still think that the New York Yankees are going to represent the American League East come World Series time. Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I'm the moron. You only have the best pitcher in baseball, Max Fried, in the American League. I mean, Tarek Skubal's up there, but they're neck and neck. You can't tell me that Max Fried is not even close to Tarek Skubal, because that would be a lie. That'd be stupid. Okay? And Aaron Judge is the best hitter in baseball. So you have one of the best pitchers in baseball and arguably the best hitter in baseball. Just get him some more protection. It's not even about protection. Get him help so that he doesn't have to do it himself. Brian Cashman is doing his best to keep a budget, because he does have a budget with Hal. Still spending a ton of money, but keeping it as minimum as possible. And he'll go make those trades when need be. And guess what? Maybe he will trade some of those guys. Maybe he will trade a Spencer Jones. Maybe he will trade some of these younger players that you've been thinking about. Oh, are they really good? Are they not? Maybe he will make a move or splash for another bat that you've been dying for. But there is no doubt in my mind that at the end of the day, Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone will still be here. They'll be in the playoffs. And they will get back to the World Series. And then everyone will be sitting there going, like, I don't understand how they did this. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because they're smarter than us. I don't care what you say about Brian Cashman. The guy continues to get it done every single year. We're talking about a team that I understand has had a really rough stretch. Again, I'm not denying it. They've been really bad. 7 out of 22 games. They've won 7 out of 22 games. It's not good. As they say in the trades, it's not what you want. However, I am not giving up on Brian Cashman. He's not giving up on the team. Aaron Boone's not giving up on the team. He's not putting his feet up and going, all right, whatever, we'll just move on to the next day. They're not doing that. They're not hanging it up. And you shouldn't either on them. You really shouldn't. Maybe you're tired of it because it's the same old for you. But the same old for you is light years ahead of most organizations in sports, not just baseball. How often do you see, and I understand they haven't won a World Series since 2009, so I get that. That's a tough pill to swallow. But the fact that they get there almost every year to the playoffs is ridiculous. They were just in the World Series last year. If this had been, you tell me, if they weren't in the World Series last year, if they missed the playoffs last year, whole different conversation. And them taking a nosedive right now, yeah, whole different conversation. The fact that they were in the World Series last year means to me that they have a little bit more, wiggle room to deal with. And again, there's a few weeks left till the trade deadline happens. Let's see what they do. Quickly, just a quick note on the All-Star game. I looked at the rosters, and honestly, they need to take away the voting from the fans, because it's just a fan favorite thing now, and that's fine. You want to make the fans happy, but I looked at the starting lineups for both the NL and the AL, and the reserves are really the guys that should be the starters for the All-Star game. I mean, those are the guys that are leading. I mean, leading. Excuse me. There we go. League leading. There it is. Obviously, Aaron Judge is a league leader. Cal Raleigh is a league leader. But there's other guys that you just like. I'm not saying that they're not that good, but Vlad Guerrero Jr. is not having as good of a season as a guy like, was it Aranda on Tampa Bay? He's a better first baseman than Vlad Guerrero Jr. His numbers are better. His batting average is better. I think he's got more extra base hits than Vlad Guerrero Jr. But Vlad Guerrero Jr. is Vlad Guerrero Jr., so let's give him the start. It's getting stupid. Not for nothing, but Francisco Lindor shouldn't be starting for the NL. At shortstop, it should be Ellie De La Cruz. Now, is that saying that Francisco Lindor shouldn't be an all-star? No, I'm not saying that at all. Last year, he definitely deserved it. This year, sure, he deserves it. He had a really good first 2 months of the season. June wasn't as good. Does he deserve to be an all-star? Of course he does. But should he start over Ellie De La Cruz? No chance. Ellie De La Cruz is the better of the two this year. It might not be by much, but it's still. Ellie De La Cruz is the better of the two. And you go up and down the rosters, it's like, oh my God, just flip-flop. Like, yeah, let these guys. First of all, half of these guys that the fans vote in probably don't even want to be there. Those are the stars. Those are the guys who've been there before. It doesn't mean as much to them. It's the other guys that are like, hey, I'm having a great season. I'm not really being recognized as much. Thankfully for the players, they recognize me. So I think they have to just have a role reversal of that. Like fans can fill in the bench while the players or somebody else fills in the actual all-star, starting roster. And then congratulations to Mike Brown as he is officially named the New York Knicks head coach. That is going to go as poorly as you expect. I'll be back with BT and Sal tomorrow on the Fan, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check out, obviously, Boomer and Gio beforehand, Evan and Tiki after us, Keith McPherson, Chris McMonagle, and then we rotate the whole thing all over again. Just keeps it going in a big circle on the weekdays, Monday through Friday. Again, thank you for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. You can always find me at Hoff WFAN. I do this every day. I'll be back tomorrow after the Yankees and Mets play, give you a little recap. Maybe something else happens. And yeah, you can always check me with the Rico Bronya on the Rico Bronya podcast with Evan Roberts, as we like to do that at least twice a week, maybe more. He's in Europe, so the hours are going to be a little bit weirder than normal, but we'll figure out a way to do it. Plus, as always, Saturday mornings, I'm on the air 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Now, listen, go enjoy the rest of your day, your morning, whatever it is. Tune on WFAN, tune on the Odyssey app. If you miss anything, you hit the rewind function. Just subscribe. You could search in the Odyssey app, too, for specific podcasts that you want, like WFAN Daily or Unkillable or Rico Bronya or One Giant Step, whatever you want. It's all there in the Odyssey app. But subscribe, download. If you want, there's even iHeartRadio too. We're all over the place. It's amazing. But Odyssey app is the main place you can always go, or wherever you get your podcast. But thank you so much for listening. And don't forget YouTube. YouTube's there as well. If you're watching live right now, cool. Thank you very much. Not to you guys. But listen, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. And don't forget to follow me at Hoff WFAN. Peace.